Look, at the moment we have a body of a female has been located in the front yard of the house at 30 Leichhardt Street. We're unable to say at this stage what the cause of death is. Police are currently investigating any missing persons from the area, and we have homicide squad and major and organised crime squad detectives assisting in the investigation.
Is it believed that she was raped?
We're unable to say at this stage. Obviously the scene is still being examined, and we won't have any firm advice on that or a cause of death until later in the day.
In what state was she found?
Well, she's located lying on the ground beside the house. Now she is partially clothed, but as I say, cause of death is not known at this point in time.
Neighbours say that they don't know the victim. Does it appear that she's been, is that the case that you're aware of, that she's unknown to the people where the house was found?
That's my understanding, yes. There's nothing to connect the lady to that house.
Do you believe that the incident has happened somewhere else and she's been dumped in this location?
We can't comment on that at this stage because we don't know. We're obviously still continuing investigations.
Did you find identification on her? Tell us
No.
Did the police know there's been a struggle?
The scene's still being investigated. You know, we have the scientific officers here at the moment and our forensic police, so they're currently investigating the scene.
It's quite concerning though, Dave.
Oh, of course. You know, we have a deceased female, so obviously that's concerning, and we'll certainly be pulling out all stops today to find out what happened.
Did you say whether there's visible injuries to her body?
The body hasn't been positively examined at this point in time.
Hasn't been moved at all?
No, it hasn't been moved, no.
Is this woman a resident in this street?
Well, we haven't identified it yet. Yeah.
So detectives know that. Does she work at McDonald's?
Well, what I can say at this stage is that the body has McDonald's uniform, and some parts of a McDonald's uniform are located in the street. So obviously that's going to be one of our line of inquiries. But as I say, she hasn't been positively identified at this point in time.
Pretty traumatic for the neighbours that have made this discovery this morning?
Yes.
Have they been able to tell you if they heard any screams, anyone in the street, anything like that?
Well, door knocks are continuing at this stage. Yeah.
How old is the woman, do you believe?
She would appear to be probably in her 20s. Now, one thing I would ask, though, we would just like to make a public appeal for any person that was in Leichhardt Street between, say, 8:30 last night and 6 o'clock this morning, whether they were walking or travelling the street in a vehicle, to contact police. Now, in particular, the period between 8:30 and, say, 10 o'clock as to whether any disturbances were heard, or in fact, 8:30 through till midnight, whether there's any disturbances occurred. But we'd also like to speak to anybody who may have been walking down the street who saw any items of clothing on the road or anything suspicious right through till about 6 o'clock in the morning.
Are you treating it as a murder?
Yes, we are.
And how was she found? Was she found by the resident of the house or neighbours?
The information I have at this stage is that a person walking down the street saw the body and woke up the person in the house, and it came from there.
What are detectives doing now? I can see that a crime stoppers tent has been set up. Is it?
Yes, well, obviously we're concerned about the rain and the weather, so the scene is going to have to be protected. So we're making every effort at the moment to make sure the scene is secure and protected.
What other belongings were found, Dave?
No, I can't talk about in detail what's located at the scene.
Were there car keys found though?
I can't talk about what was located at the scene at this stage.
Where she was found, can you tell us about the fence and how was the fence high or low? Someone found her as they were walking by.
No, it's just a normal chain wire fence, a normal height.
So was it very far into the front yard?
No, the body's visible from the roadway.
Are police or have police conducted searches of the area in case there's something to be found or someone to be found?
No, well, obviously the immediate scene is the priority of the moment, so that's being protected from the weather, and then that will be searched in detail by our forensic police. That'll take some time, and as the day progresses, we'll widen the search.
What about friends and relatives? Have you been in contact with them?
Well, as I say, we have to try to identify the lady first, and once we have possible identity, we'll obviously contact friends and relatives.
Are you questioning other staff from McDonald's just up the road here?
The detectives are out at the moment. They're doing a number of things, including speaking with McDonald's staff.
How would you describe the scene, Dave? You've been in the industry a long time. I mean, is it quite a horrific scene?
The scene is, at the moment, we have a deceased female lying in the front yard of a house.
And are there fears for public safety?
Sorry?
Are there fears for public safety of the person who committed this crime?
Well, there's nothing at this stage to suggest that there is any reason for the public to be in fear. We obviously need to identify exactly what happened and identify the lady first and then try to work out what her movements were and what happened from there.
When do you expect to move her?
Look, it's a slow process, so I can't really give a time on that.
Anything else that you'd like to add, Dave?
No, but I'd just like to reinforce to you that public appeal for anybody in the street. So between 8:30 last night and 6 o'clock this morning, particularly between 8:30 last night and midnight, for anybody walking the street or driving down the street who may have seen or heard anything suspicious. And then later on in the morning, anybody who may have been walking down the street who saw any clothing in the street or may have touched clothing or just seen clothing, we would be interested in speaking to those people.
Been in contact with McDonald's? I mean, was she on her way to work and her way home, do you know?
Well, we haven't possibly identified the person at this point in time.
You said she's partially clad. What pieces is she missing?
I don't want to talk in any detail about the actual scene itself.